First-person shooters have always been near and dear to my heart, from classics like Half-Life to more modern shooters like Call of Duty and Overwatch. Even though the gist of these games is similar, the differences that they have keep the genre fresh to some extent. In Overwatch, you get to choose between a slew of unique characters with several abilities. This adds so much fun and variety to the game, and has inspired new iterations of these MOBA-style shooters. But this diversity is still limited to some extent. If you play Junkrat or D.Va, they both have super fun skills in my opinion, but there is only so much variety in each character. Repetitiveness in a genre can be destructive, but this is where Doom 2016 comes in. Bethesda and ID Software created an intricate world, challenging enemies, and the most enjoyable romp through hell I've ever experienced, except for maybe Hades. The best way I can describe this game is the subversion of expectations. One might assume that this game is going to be a simple arcade-style shooter, but it's much more. Diverse enemies keep you on your toes, challenging landscapes give you a false sense of security, and don't get me started on the music. I thought this was the pinnacle of the FPS experience, but I was wrong. I'm Very. If you like this content, like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. It really helps with the growth of this channel, and I'd really appreciate it. Doom Eternal. Pretty much did this with the 2016 Doom. Everything that made the original Doom great has been elevated to the next level. The new enemies like the Arachnotron and Pain Elementals add so much diversity to the game. And then there's the Marauder. He's pretty much my version of Voldemort. We don't say his name around here.
Who owned that wand?
We do not speak his name.
One of my biggest problems with shooters is that they end up getting repetitive. This wasn't a problem with the original Doom, and it's not here either. You have an arsenal of weapons that would make the Commando blush. Also, with the additions of more gun mods, the choices never end. My personal favorite has to be the double barrel chain. With this attachment, you can hook onto enemies and fly at them in some hilarious fun. Just when I thought I was inundated with too many abilities, Eternal said, "Here, have a couple more." But these additions are so much fun. A shoulder flamethrower called the Flame Belch to give you more armor, a Doom Punch to kill multiple enemies after a glory kill, and the Ice Bomb.
Tonight's forecast. A freeze is coming.
Not to mention the Crucible, a mighty blade forged of hell energy, which is basically Doom's version of Fruit Ninja. One might think with the addition of all these added powers, this game should be a cakewalk. Although I'd say this game is much more challenging than its predecessor. An onslaught of engaging enemies keep you on your toes throughout the entirety of this banger of a game. The absurdity has also been up dramatically in this game. The Doomslayer's main form of interaction is punching. Humans, demons, and all other creatures cower before the presence of the Doomslayer. When you run out of ammo, just use him instead. He's pretty hardy. Now let's talk a bit about the story. This isn't a comprehensive analysis of all the lore in Doom, just a basic breakdown of the overall narrative. I explained the first Doom story here if you wanted to check it out before watching this one, but just to give a brief background of Doom 2016, we play as the Doomslayer, legendary warrior filled with rage. The world has been overrun by demons because of a massive company, the Union Aerospace Corporation. This agency committed brutal sacrifices with the help of Olivia Pierce and Samuel Hayden. This allowed them to open the gates to hell to harvest hell energy, the strongest renewable energy source available in this game. Olivia Pierce was exploited by hell. The Doomslayer comes in to destroy your brain meat so he can prevent the extinction of humanity. Samuel Hayden betrays the Doomslayer and imprisons him. The UAC let hell use human suffering to create renewable energy for the Earth. This is the premise of Monster Inc., but set in hell, and I'm here for it. We learn about the Doomslayer's past as the Night Sentinel. This group of warriors was tasked with defending Argentinur, their former homeworld. He was found by them and given a second chance. If he could survive the blood pits, then they would allow him to join their organization. His insatiable rage allowed him to conquer the pits and climb to new heights.
Are you not entertained?
After the Outlander's accomplishments, he was requested by the Conmaker. The Conmaker is the leader of Urdak and the ruler of the Makers, an advanced alien species. Urdak is the area where souls are used as human energy. This place is epic and one of the coolest video game areas of recent memory. It's hard to describe, but the soundtrack sounds like people calling out. Shortly after these events, the demons invaded and crushed the Sentinels. The Doomslayer led brigades to fight against the Hellspawn. Our hero showed his enemies no mercy, and grew stronger after every battle. The consequence of these battles was the discovery of hell energy, but the demons' onslaught continued, and they eventually defeated the Night Sentinels. Back to the present day, humans try and capitalize on this energy by the way of the UAC. This unleashed hell on Earth and he was sent to clean up. Doom defied the Con Maker, so in a last-ditch effort, he sent the Icon of Sin to destroy our planet. Doomguy kills him and heads to Earth to defeat Sin. This legendary demon is said to warp reality with its very existence, but all bow to the Doomslayer's might. Then comes the Ancient Gods DLC. In this, the Doomslayer was given an upgrade by Seraphim. Seraphim was an angelic being who joined the Night Sentinels to oversee our hero. He is actually Dr. Samuel Hayden from the first game. He implanted his consciousness into a robot, with instruction from the Father, so Seraphim and the Big Boy decide to retrieve the soul of the Father, creator of all things. The Father oversaw the realm, and Seraphs were his angels. He had them do his bidding. One of his first creations was the realm of Jakad, now known as Hell. He also created Davoth, the Dark Lord, to rule over his domain so that the Father could tend to other matters. But he realized his creation was becoming corrupt, so he sealed off Hell from the other realms. This enraged Davoth, and eventually the Father stole his life essence and stored it away. He also had Samuel, otherwise known as Samur, hide his life essence in case of emergency. He implanted his mind into Vega, the AI that guides us through both games. With Hell's rising might, Samur instructs the Doomslayer to resurrect the Father. He believes that the Father is the only one with enough power to defeat the forces of Hell. The Doomslayer partakes in the trials of Malagog in the Blood Swamps to gain access to the Father's soul essence. We can see in this area the corpses of those who have undergone these trials and failed. Makers can't enter the Dark Realm, so we only have one person to count on if humanity is to continue. The Doomslayer completes the trials of Malagog with ease and heads to the Father's soul. Samur is waiting for him. He wants to stop the forces of Hell, but Samur also needs the Father's soul because his body is breaking down. The Doomslayer, tired of all these games, crushes the Father's soul and instead takes the soul of the Dark Lord. Seeing the hellscape that the Father helped create, he decides to change fate himself. Rip and tear is all he knows, so he tries to destroy the Dark Lord to end this nightmare. He goes to the Luminarium, the only place with enough energy to revive the Dark Lord, the birthplace of all lands. Samur waits for him here and attacks the Slayer with one final onslaught. They fight and our hero emerges victorious. He resurrects the Dark Lord, an indomitable monster whose power is only second to the Father. But something happens that no one expects. Out of the portal comes the Dark Lord, who is actually the Doomslayer in the Dark Realm. I can't rave about the Ancient Gods DLC enough. This is an absolute steal at $20. Even though the DLC is only 4 to 5 hours, it's jam-packed with so much carnage that it easily outpaces full campaigns in other shooting games. Not to mention the new and challenging enemies, gorgeous handcrafted environments, and the expansion of the already extensive lore. I'm so excited to see what happens next for the Doomslayer. Ernest Hemingway has a quote, "There is nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self." I think this quote is especially true for our hero. He rips and tears through every adversary in his way. But can he defeat his greatest enemy? Himself. Thanks for watching another one of my videos. I really appreciate it. Let me know down in the comments your biggest predictions or things you're looking forward to in the upcoming DLC. Thanks. Have a good one.